On Wednesday, the U.S. Soccer Federation announced a firing of U.S. men's national team head coach Gregg Berhalter after what some considered a disappointing finish for the United States at the 2024 Copa America. So what's next for U.S. men's soccer? We're going to discuss that and much more with former men's national team player and lead MLS analyst on Apple TV. His name is Taylor Twellman, and he joins us from the 35th Annual American Century Championship Golf event in Lake Tahoe. Taylor, they let you in the building to do a little golf. How's it going?
They did. They did. American Century, I may owe my life to for letting me in this because I just hit the jackpot, buddy.
I'm glad. It sounds like you're enjoying it. I'm glad. But let's get things going. We're going to kick things off talking about the firing of Gregg Berhalter. Was this the right move for the national team to move on from him as head coach?
Yeah, it was inevitable. For the first time in 20 tournaments in your own backyard, the United States men failed to get out of their group. And so you have to show accountability to your fans, your players, your sponsors, everyone else. And even Gregg Berhalter, whose statement was spot on, it was classy. He raised his hand and said, I'm 100% responsible for the failure of Copa America. Absolutely. But now the bigger question is, what do you do? Where do you go from here? Because this is the biggest moment in, I would say, U.S. men's soccer history, when the World Cup is in their backyard in 2026, along with Mexico and Canada. And you can't waste the opportunity to bring some life into a program that has been stale for a little bit. And so now the question is, moments ago, before you and I started to talk, Jurgen Klopp has rebuffed the United States men and their offer to talk about that project. So now where do you go from there? I think it's got to be a big, bold, brash personality, take the attention away from the players, but also put the attention on the players and say, you've got to earn your spot, and we've got to regroup here and right the ship before the World Cup in 2026.
Okay, so we're going to get to that in a second. I saw the news come about Jurgen Klopp, and being a Liverpool fan, I saw all that. But I want to get to this first. Taylor, when you look at the issues for Team USA, do the problems for the men's national team lie with coaching, or is there a development issue when it comes to producing talent in this country?
That's a difficult one, right? Because you're asking me that question with American players playing at AC Milan, Juventus in the English Premier League, a lot of them going through Borussia Dortmund and whatnot, some of them playing in the Bundesliga. So if you asked me that 10, 15 years ago, I'm not sure I'm saying that we've got players starting in Serie A, in the Bundesliga, and the Premier League. Now, in saying that, this group hasn't really had their significant moment either. There's not a big win for this quote-unquote golden generation of player as well. And so I think some of the players deserve criticism. I think this group hasn't reached their potential. I do believe 5, 10, 15, 20 years down the road, you're always going to be having the conversation of development of players. I don't know if that's the issue right now. I think you've got to look at the group of players that you have right now, and is the manager maximizing that group? I think the answer is a no to that. Now, the next manager coming in, you've got to figure out how to maximize this group. I think that's a big topic, but I don't know if developing players is the issue in the moment, considering my phone is consistently off the hook 17, 18, 19, 22-year-old players in Major League Soccer academies, in Major League Soccer in the first team, and them looking at it. I just think the profile of the American player is much higher than it was 10 years ago. But I don't know if this group of players has put it together, if that makes any sense.
No, it makes a lot of sense, putting the accountability on the players there. And I'm going to get back to something you just mentioned at the top, right, which was where does this men's national team go from here? You mentioned the rumors of former Liverpool head coach Jurgen Klopp being interested. He's reportedly rebuffed the approach from the United States Soccer Federation. So if you had to pick somebody, giving you the keys, who should be the next coach to lead the men's squad here?
Someone with real experience on the world stage. And I don't say that tongue-in-cheek, and that's not a jab at anyone. What I'm saying is this is 18 to 20 months before the World Cup is in your backyard. You have to make sure you pick the right personality, the right manager that, one, maximizes the group of players that he or she has, but more so, in my opinion, and nobody's talking enough about this, if the golden generation hasn't reached its potential, take the pressure off the golden generation right now and bring in a big personality that has the spotlight in front of them like I do right now, that isn't shy to speak their mind, look into the camera, and take the attention away from the players and allow the players to regroup and really get ready for the World Cup that summer. That is the only way to go, and in my opinion, that's the way they have to go if they want to do it right by 26.
Okay, big personality at head coach coming in, taking the pressure off the players. I hear you on that. What do you need to see, Taylor, in terms of improvement from U.S. men's soccer over the next 2 years as they move towards the 2026 World Cup?
I can't believe we're still having the conversation of, yeah, we want to play against the better teams and we want to be good in possession and we want to be aesthetically pleasing. But I didn't know that that meant we get away from who we are as a nation. And that is a team that collectively play together, that run through the wall for their manager, run through the wall for their coach, that play aggressive. The fact that the United States men in Copa America were I think the bottom 2 least fouled team. That means you're not getting after it. Uruguay, Argentina, Colombia, Brazil, top 4 or 5. Guess where they were? So we've got to get back to the synergy of the profile of the American player that understands you are going to have a nightmare playing against us. Yes, we're going to be technically a better team. We're going to have the ability to play, but we can't get away from the ability of being a nightmare to play against and using the athletic profile of our players play into the system tactically. I think they've got to get back to that.
Last thing for me, Taylor, before I let you go, and I appreciate all the time here. We talked about the U.S. men's national team. I got to ask you about MLS. You are the lead MLS analyst on Apple TV. MLS All-Star Game is coming up. How excited are you to see the best in the MLS go head-to-head?
Well, it's going to be difficult times for me because I got to get Messi a cappuccino, a croissant every morning when I'm in Columbus. The fact that he's probably never been to Columbus, but no, I'm just kidding. It's going to be a blast. You're going to see Liga MX versus Major League Soccer. You're going to see the Inter Miami contingent, and who knows, maybe after a Copa America win from Lionel Messi, it's going to bring a ton of eyeballs, a ton of attention to the city of Columbus, to the League of Major League Soccer. I think the All-Star Game is going to be a real spectacle right leading into the League's Cup, which last year lit this continent on fire.
Yeah, it did. It was a very exciting Leagues Cup, hoping for the same thing this year. Taylor Twellman, former men's national player with the United States, also lead MLS analyst on Apple TV. Check out his work. Taylor, appreciate the time. I'm going to let you get back to it and enjoy that great golf event that you're at. Please enjoy.
I got to work on my putting, buddy. I got to work on my putting.
You got to get that short game right, man. Got to get that short game right. All right, thanks, Taylor. I appreciate you, man.
Thanks, bud.